birthday maybe of any country ever in the history of the world.
We're watching C-SPAN.
And President Trump, with his directive to celebrate this thing, we've got what's more American than race car driving? What's more monumental than the Indy 500 as an icon of what's going on in our country? And so merging the history and the tradition of our capital, Washington, D.C., with the speed and the innovation that goes on in the IndyCar series is incredible. And it's a great metaphor because the speeds we're talking about is the speed of President Trump. I want to reiterate, there weren't 81 meetings with the Trump administration. I think it was they called President Trump. He got Sean and I going, and that was like from Saturday till now, we have a race.
1 week.
1 week we have a race as opposed to like 4 months of talking. So I think there's also a metaphor here about President Trump, who's an incredible sportsman. He's an athlete himself.
Yo, the facial expressions, I love it.
Soccer, UFC, the football draft, NFL football draft coming, IndyCar, and all the teams that he hosts here. I mean, to any American who loves sports, you ought to love this president because he's bringing professional sports to our capital. And again, August 21st to 23rd, you talk about the economic impact. By the time all those reporters get done telling the story, there's not going to be a hotel room available in this city on that weekend because everybody's going to want to be here. Right. People that maybe have wanted to see an IndyCar race their whole life are now going to have an opportunity to come to their capital, celebrate 250, and see an IndyCar race for free. And they're going to be able to see it on the National Mall. And wherever you put down your lawn chair and watch this race for free, you're going to be staring at the Washington Monument, the Lincoln Memorial, the Jefferson Memorial, and I'm sure there's going to be fireworks this weekend too. I'm sure of that. And if you need a permit, you can get one from Interior. So anyway, it's absolutely incredible. And congratulations to Sean, the Penske organization, Fox Sports, everybody for putting together. This is going to be a great celebration for America.
Thank you very much, and you're doing a fantastic job. Could I just ask Bud Danker, who's the president of Penske Corporation, to say a few words, please?
Well, thank you, Mr. President. You know, Eric Shanks and I from Fox had this dream, and just last July, and could it ever be possible to bring a race to our nation's capital to celebrate our country's history? And everybody said there's no way. It's impossible. How do you put a race on at 190 miles an hour in a city like Washington, D.C.? I came here, I walked this area for a while, I found a racetrack on the Capitol grounds, up against a lot of meetings and couldn't get the kind of support we need. So within a week, Secretary Duffy and we put this together with the president, didn't we? And now we have a race here on our city property, on the national properties that is going to celebrate America. The word free shouldn't be overridden because we are going to have a free event here. People come out and celebrate our country's history. I also want to thank Mayor Bowser. She has been a great partner in this process as well too. So I know, Mr. President, she's a great supporter of what you've done here in the city as well too, and we thank her for this.
From what I understand, Mayor Bowser is not getting really positive feedback from the people, though,
enjoy this and celebrate
that she's supposed to be serving
here in the nation's capital. Thank you, Mr. President.
She may be supporting Trump, but she's not getting positive feedback from the people she's supposed to serve.
Because there are a lot of different routes. I said, pick, even if it's more difficult to get approved, pick the absolute best site. And they were actually looking at another site, and when I said that, they said, well, the best site is this site, the site we're doing. I said, let's take a look at it, and we think it's the best site too. It's actually better than the original site they were looking at. But if we're going to do it, we want to do it right. So this is going to be something in terms of the road width, the crowds, and everything else that we can all. The best site, one of the best sites I've ever seen, actually.
The Indy car race coming to Washington, D.C. Yeehaw!
That'd be great. We just named a new Fed chairman today. You know that? He's a Central Cast.
I've never been to a race, but I probably would go. I ain't even going to hold you.
You know him, Roger? Very good guy.
Yo.
Roger, no auto pen. I didn't use an auto pen. Here, Roger, take that.
I will.
My man signed that with a Sharpie.
Oh, that's great.
Here you go, my man. I don't want to sign each letter. You know, they sign each letter. They hand pens. I used to watch these presidents. One letter. You got to see what it looks like at the end. Never looks too good. Here, Rachel, take that. That's for your team.
Thank you.
Congratulations. This is really exciting.
Thank you.
I mean, hey, I missed everything that's going on.
And chair nominee, since you just brought it up, Did Kevin Warsh commit to you that he will push to cut interest rates if he is confirmed?
No, but we talk about it, and I've been following him, and I don't want to ask him that question. I think it's inappropriate, probably. It probably would be allowed, but I want to keep it nice and pure. But he certainly wants to cut rates. I've been watching him for a long time.
Senator Thomas,
did you have any concerns about his hawkish history of pushing for rate hikes?
He's going to want to do the same thing. I think that, yeah, I've had times.
Feel me? That's cool for the IndyCar. Let's get to the business.
But he's very smart, very good, strong, young, pretty young, and I think he's going to do a good. I mean, he was the central casting guy that people wanted. Kevin was great. I tell you what, I met numerous people. Every one of them were fantastic, really fantastic. I wanted to keep Kevin here, and I thought that I called Kevin 1, Kevin 2, and we have. I said it's going to be a Kevin, but Kevin really has been fantastic at the White House. You all know him. You know him very well, and so we have Kevin W.
Are you concerned, Mr. President, about the confirmation hearings? We've heard Senator Tillis.
No.
You think with the DOJ investigation that's going on?
This is in the whole country. I would say that this was the perfect candidate. This was not a surprise or anything. This was the man that's most qualified. Top student, best schools, everything was like perfect. Youngest person ever to serve on the Fed. Got the whole package. Looks don't mean anything, but he's got the look, right? Roger, looks don't mean anything, but if they have the look, it's okay. But he's got the whole package, and I think he's going to do a great job, and he loves the country.
Yo, the mad people ready for questions.
Yes.
Are you giving Iran any kind of deadline to make a deal before potentially taking
Only
further
they
action?
know for sure.
Have you communicated that to them?
Yeah, I need to figure out how to get a media pass to get up in here. I applied to some news stations too.
Potentially the federal presence there?
I applied to the
We'll see how
Washington
it all
Post,
works out. They have to float someplace. They might as well float near.
and I
Iran.
applied to CNN
It's a
and
rough situation going on. So I
NBC.
stopped 837 people, as you know, last week from being hung. They were going to hang 830. It was all set. And I mean, I'm looking at the people behind me. They're saying, what kind of racing's a lot nicer than that. They were going to hang 837 people. And I told them, if you do it, you're going to pay a price like nobody's ever paid.
They were going to
before.
hang
I appreciated that.
837 people.
But a lot of people are being killed.
That's such
we'll
a
see what
specific
happens.
number.
I can say this, they do want to make a deal.
Virginia, actually. Virginia flipped the governors here, and now they're looking at 50 proposals to increase taxes. What do you think about that?
Well, I think it's terrible. I think a lot of people will leave Virginia. I saw that. Look, Glenn was a friend of mine, Glenn Youngkin, and worked so hard on cutting taxes. This woman came in, and in one swoop, she raised everything up higher than it ever was. I don't understand it. I mean, people voted for Democrat, but she came in and she raised, and I'll work with her like I work with everyone else, but she came into Virginia, raised everything to a point like taxes that nobody ever even heard of before.
That's because
And
Virginia
I
got
don't
all the
understand
wealth,
how
baby. That's
people
where all
get
the athletes is at, and the government funds is in
This is only
Virginia.
in the very modern age.
Look up how many
I grew up and I always
databases
heard
is in
politicians,
Virginia.
We'll cut taxes, we'll cut taxes. Everybody's screaming, we're going to cut taxes. I cut taxes. I gave you the biggest tax cut in the history of our country, in the great big beautiful bill. No tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime.
If you live on the East Coast,
Interest
all your
deduction
internet
charges
traffic
when
is
somebody
going
buys
through
a car, they
Virginia.
can deduct
That's
the
a
interest
fact.
If they borrow money, that's the biggest thing in terms of the car business, right?
American-made ones.
Correct. So we have, I give tax cuts and they give tax increases. I don't know how they get elected. They get elected because they cheat. You want to know the truth? If they didn't cheat, they'd have no chance. They have
He's still talking
horrible
about
policy.
cheating, bro.
Transgender for everyone. They have the little thing about open borders so that the world's prison population and mental hospitals can be emptied into our country. It's just a crazy. Men playing in women's sports. Roger, are you a fan of men playing in women's sports?
Nah, not him adding the crowd in the back, bro.
You're not a big fan. I don't think so.
My man catching strays. He's like, bro, what the fuck is going on?
99%. They say it's an 80-20 issue. I think it's maybe 99. It's 99-1.
Yo, Trump is pure entertainment, man.
who
He
you
literally
like?
took reality TV
You're
and said,
a
fuck
loud
it, we going to
person.
presidency
You're
with
loud.
it.
Let somebody else have a chance.
Can you answer the
Wait a
question?
minute.
Why are you
ABC
suing
fake,
IRS?
ABC fake news.
You're suing.
Go ahead. I
Can
didn't
you
call
answer-
it. Go ahead, please. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
Do you think the upcoming
ABC,
talks,
by the way, is truly one of the worst. Go
do you
ahead.
think the upcoming talks between Russia and Ukraine stand a chance without
Yeah.
U.S. envoy Witkoff and Jared Kushner there?
I think they stand a chance. We've been trying. I've ended 8 wars. All of them I thought were going to be maybe tougher than this one. But Zelensky and Putin hate each other. And it makes it very difficult. But I think we're getting very close to getting a settlement. Hundreds of thousands of people, mostly soldiers, have been killed. Last week they lost 29,000 people. Last month they
Damn.
lost 29,000 soldiers. Can you believe that, fellas? 29,000. You lose one race driver, and it's a big deal. 29,000 soldiers in 1 month. 27,000 the month before. I think that, I think that we have a good chance of getting a
Yo,
settlement.
them numbers is crazy.
Mr. President, on the Warsh nomination, what is your strategy for getting past the hold that Senator Tillis has on this process? He said he won't allow.
Well, that's that kind of thinking is why he's no longer a senator. He's going to be out of office. It's too bad. I always liked Senator Tillis actually, but
He said it's too
he
bad.
did some things that were not smart.
Yo, bro.
And whatever. I mean, if he doesn't approve, we'll just have to wait till somebody comes in that will approve it, right? So that's it. But I saw that. He wants to be an obstructionist, but we have a lot of obstructionists. I've had a lot, and we've created the best presidency maybe ever. Yeah.
Follow up. If Iran doesn't make a deal, is your plan to replicate there what you just did in Venezuela?
I don't
If
wanna
Iran
say
doesn't
that.
make a deal.
I don't want to talk about anything having to do with what I'm doing militarily, but we have a tremendously powerful fleet.
That's a
there.
smart
We have
move,
the
Trump.
most powerful ships in the world. We have the most powerful military by far in the world. We showed that on numerous occasions. I mean, I rebuilt the military in my term. If I didn't do, I wouldn't, I think, be able to say that. But I rebuilt the military, the entire United States military in my first term. And now we're building it bigger, better, stronger than ever before. I'm adding to it. We're adding something called a battleship. You would find this interesting. You know the old-fashioned, beautiful battleships? And we're adding up to 25 of them. Each battleship is 100 times more powerful than the battleships of the 1940s, those big, powerful ones with the guns, because of what the ships carry. But we're going to build 10.
Battleship.
And then we'll see how we like them, and we're going to go and do another 15 after that. Could be up to 25 battleships.
10 and
100
see how we
times
like
more
them. What does that
powerful.
mean? See how we like them. Y'all about to go test them in the field? Like, what does that mean, bro?
On the Fed, should the DOJ
Are they about to go
continue
test
its
battleships
investigation
on
into
somebody?
Jay Powell? That seems to be a sticking point for Senator Tillis.
Well, he's got a building that, I build buildings, and I build them under budget, ahead of schedule. I build them, but they're within reason always. And this is a small little complex that's costing billions of dollars, most expensive job per square foot ever built. And it's a little complex. It's a little Fed complex. I built the hotel on Pennsylvania Avenue, and I built it for around $200 million. And it's bigger than that. They're spending many times that amount to do a renovation of a building. I've heard numbers as high as $4 billion. $4 billion to build a building. I could have renovated that building and fixed it up, made it beautiful for $25 million. They're going to spend close to $4 billion on it. So it's either gross incompetence or it's theft. Somebody's making money, because you can't spend. It's more. You have the structure, you have the exterior skin that they're not changing much.
Someone's making some bread. I know that much.
And they're spending almost. I mean, I'm hearing numbers of between $3 and $4 billion. It's the most expensive structure ever built per square foot. So he's either incompetent, or he or somebody is a crook, and we'll find out.
Mr. President, do you think Christine should step down? So, on Minneapolis, Governor Tim Walz recently likened the conflict on the ground to Fort Sumter, sort of implying that this is the beginning of a civil war. Do you agree with that characterization? Do you feel like there's a civil war brewing in Minneapolis? Governor did.
Well, does he know what Fort Sumter was, or do you think somebody wrote it out for him? No, this is, I was elected on law and order. I was elected on a strong border. We had a border that allowed 25 million people to come in. Many were murderers. They murdered people. We had 11,888 murderers. We had prisons, including Venezuela, but Venezuela opened its prisons. So did the Congo. The Congo in Africa opened its prisons and dumped people into our country. Many countries did that. I would have done that if I were leading a country. I would have dumped the prisoners into our country. We had open borders. We had all these things. I was elected on law and order. I was elected on the economy. I was elected on a lot of reasons. Because when I took over, we inherited a mess. Prices were too high. Inflation was the highest it was in 48 years. I say ever, but the media always corrects me by saying it's only 48 years. I think 48 years almost sounds worse. But when I was elected to do a job. And one of the big things I was elected to do is law and order. We now have the lowest crime rate in the history of our country. We have the lowest murder rate in the history of our country. We have Washington, D.C., which was a dangerous place to walk, is now a totally safe city. You can walk with your husband or your wife. You can walk with your children right down the middle of the city. Nothing's going to happen. We did a great job. We had the National Guard. We have soldiers. We have people that nobody's going to mess with. And we've taken out, remember, it's not just that. In Washington, we've removed over 2,000 criminals. And you know,
have they?
The numbers.
I gotta look at the numbers. You're right.
A very small percentage of your population, 2%, 3% of your population causes 90% of the crime. So when you move a small, it's amazing how that works. But the criminals go over and over and over again. So 2 to 3% of your population can cause over 90% of your crime. So it's not that complex. We moved 2,000 people out of Washington. We brought them back to their countries where they came from. They came through open borders by Sleepy Joe Biden. And I will tell you, Washington, if you look at New Orleans, as you know, we went there about 4 weeks ago. I was with the mayor of New Orleans last night. He was at the premiere, and she was at the premiere. She was great. I believe she's a Democrat. She came over. She thanked me so much. She said crime is down more than 50% in just a few weeks. And you couldn't even walk down the street in New Orleans. It's so bad. And now they let us in there, and she just thanked me so much, so profusely. She was great last night. I'd do that if I were a Democrat. I'd say call Trump in, let them do what they do. But we remove people, criminals, from the cities, and they become safe cities. If you look at Minnesota, Minneapolis, we have crime down there because we took out thousands of people, despite all the mess and everything else. But do these people really want to have rapists? Do they really want to have drug dealers and people from prisons and murderers? Do they really want to have them in the community? You know, it's really insurrectionists and agitators, and they're paid. And you can tell a lot of reasons. Number one, they're professionals, you know, with their mouth. But they're also, you look at the signs. The signs are all professionally made. They have signs that are gorgeous. In fact, I want to get the sign because I need a lot of signs for different things, and I want to find out whoever does their signs, they do a beautiful job. You know, everybody has this beautiful sign with brand new wood. It's like leather panels. They have a leather handle on them. These are people that are handed signs, and we know pretty much, we're getting very close to it, but we know pretty much who's funding this. These are paid insurrectionists, paid troublemakers. But I was elected by a landslide. I won every swing state. I won the popular vote by a lot. I won everything. I won everything. And I was elected by a landslide on law and order and on strong borders. We had a border that was so bad, so open.
But you also said that you cheated. So which one is it? You cheated or you was elected by a landslide?
Nobody even tries to come in. And I can only say, I think, we'll say it very plainly, elections have consequences. The people want law and order. And we have a silent majority. You know, we have a silent majority of people. They don't go and riot and everything else, but they like what we're doing. They like having a safe city. I get calls every single day. Every person I see working in the White House, people I don't know, many people work here, and they say, I'd like to thank you, sir. Why? You've made Washington so great. We walk to work. They walk to work. You people know it very well. You walk to work now. You used to take an Uber or a taxi or something, and you even felt like in danger there. Every person in this building, I mean, virtually every time I see somebody, they thank me. Because a year and a half ago, they lived in hell, and now they can walk to work, and they're totally safe. Nothing's going to happen. And if anything did happen, the person that did it would be living in hell for a long period of time. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you very much.
So what I will say is that this must be a tough job. You know what I'm saying? Like, just being grilled by them back to back to back, that must be a tough job, man. And yes, everybody has something to say about it. Everybody wants to grill Trump and all of that. But just watching it live, it's like, damn, that must be tough to just get questions about this, about that, about that. And you just got to be like on top of the knowledge of exactly what they're talking about and still be able to give them an answer, but not give out, you know, pertinent information. You know, for instance, like homie was asked some question about Iran and he was like, yo, look, I'd rather not give you any war details, but, you know, just know we got shit in place. You know what I mean? And I think, you know, that takes a certain level of skill to do, man. And you know, it's interesting to watch. That's all.